Hey Terry, what's going on?
What's going on, girl? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I haven't talked to you in seemed like forever.
It's been a minute. I think it was last time I was in Charlotte was December. It was December.
It was in
It was
December.
December. I came in December. We got a chance to link up when I came in December.
Yeah, yeah, wasn't. Yeah, I think
Yep.
December because I had just literally like had just moved here.
Yeah, you had literally just moved there. Yeah, literally just moved there. I came in town for business. My came to visit my brother. My oldest brother lives out there, and we got a chance to link up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I'm glad we got to reconnect everything and just make sure
Yeah.
everything here was set up and we got to make sure all the technical stuff is taken care of. But we are here. Hey, everybody, this is your host, Camille Estick, and I am the creator of the Speaker Podcast. And on this episode, I have a friend of mine. We go way, way back. We are both
Way
teenage
back.
first babies, okay?
Church. You are glory.
So we might cut up a little bit, so I'm just giving you a disclaimer now. This is my brother and friend Terry Stanton. Terry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am super excited to be on with you, to be on the Speak Her podcast. I'm excited to be on.
Yes. Gary, Terry's from Gary, Terry from Gary, Terry,
Gary from Gary.
Gary, Indiana.
I'm
Um,
the G.
Shout out to the Stanton family, Sister Kim, Grandpa Shuggy, Graylin. What's up, everybody? And he's also a graduate from Purdue University. He got
Baller up.
he got
Baller up.
a degree in accounting. He's a CPA, and he stepped out on faith, and he decided he wanted more. He had that little tug in his heart that Terry wanted more for his life, so he linked up with the PHP agency, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it is. It is. The rest is history, and history is being made.
Yeah. So
That's
Terry,
the exciting part. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
can you tell? I know your journey, but you share with the viewers here your transition from being a CPA, how you thought about being an engineer, which is something I know about. People don't know Terry's like super smart. He's a nerd. He's really good
I'm
at
not that smart.
whatever. Did you not say you was going to be an engineer just to prove that it's not as hard as people claim it was?
I did say that because in school, all the kids and they was taking engineering classes, they would come crying talking about how hard engineering is. And I'm like, yeah, right. Come on. It's not that hard. So I thought about changing my major to become an engineer just so I can see how hard it really is. But I didn't do it. I was too invested already.
All right.
Yeah, so I was too invested already.
What drove you into becoming a CPA?
Oh, you know what? It was just something that was always talked about to me, especially since when I decided to become an accountant. I didn't grow up to be like, man, I'm going to be an accountant or I'm going to, do accounting for my life. When I was about to graduate from high school, that was like, so what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. What are you good at? I'm good at math. Okay, you should do accounting. And I was like, okay, cool. And, my mom has an accounting background as well. Also, so that was sort of an influence. And so, when you get involved in accounting, that's one thing. Well, that was what, the group I was with, I was in this summer program for Purdue. And I went right after I graduated high school, 4 days after I graduated high school, I went in a summer program called Business Opportunity Program. We called it BOP. And it's for minorities. It's for minorities to help more with diversity with Purdue. And shout out to the late Dr. Cornell Bell. That guy is a legend down there in Purdue. But end up, he got me in and he became a mentor. And that was something that was pretty much preached, to us. Oh, you do accounting? You should go get your CPA. Oh, you should go get your CPA. You go get your CPA. So, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my CPA, and graduated. Got a job in corporate America, was working for a utility company. And, I was, as far as I'm concerned, I was excited. I was happy. I wanted to, climb up the corporate ladder. And eventually I ended up getting my CPA. I think one of the things, I guess if you keep hearing me talk, is I like challenges. So what took me so long to get my CPA, I didn't get my CPA until I graduated in 2006. I waited almost 9 years. I got my CPA in 2015. Is I was afraid of the CPA because people's like, man, this test is hard. This test is tough. It's one of the toughest exams that you can ever take in a nation. And I started to buy into that narrative. And then I got to a place I started looking. I was like, man, I started seeing other people getting their CPAs. Like, man, what, how are they? They're not much different than me. Started looking at, even CEOs. That's what I was thinking, like, they're not more different than me. Like, why can't I have that type of success? We're all the same. So I was like, man, let me go knock out this CPA. So I went and I knocked it out. And then once I got that, I got involved with this company, with People Helping People, PHP, running a financial service firm. And I got started on a part-time basis, wasn't looking to do anything, wasn't looking to quit my job. I wasn't looking to do any of that. All I was looking to do was like, I just wanted to make an extra like $1,000, $2,000 to pay off student loan debt. I was like 70 grand in student loan debt. And I was like, man, I don't want to be paying on this thing for the rest of my life. So I got involved based off of that and started paying off student loan debt. But then it's the association that the company provided me that really made me see and start looking at my life. As like, man, I'm having conversations with guys that's making $250,000, $500,000. I remember vividly. I was at a dinner with one of the top guys in the company, and I was right next to him. We were talking, and the company had just gave him this brand new Rolex because he just hit a huge milestone. He was one of the first people to hit it. So we're sitting there talking, and so I sort of eyeing a Rolex, like, man, that joker is sweet. And he looked at me, he's like, hey, you want to wear it? I'm like, what? You want to wear my work? Yeah. So I put the Rolex on. I think at that time, he had just crossed over $250,000. He was making it like $400,000 at that time. So you get these rings every time you make a milestone in your income. So I had the watch on, I had this ring on. I'm like, man, this is it. And it totally sold me on like, man, I want to see what I can do for myself. And I started seeing that, man, you know what? I set my bar too low and I'm not really reaching my potential. So I really left to really see like, okay, what am I really made of? And also to see now where the more I've been around, the more they've sort of poured into me and the associations made me think bigger, that now is not just about me like making money or becoming financially free. It's also about my family. My family. My family, if people look at my family and say, man, you guys are successful. You got 2 older brothers. Your oldest brother's a medical doctor. Your middle brother has a master's degree. You're an accountant. You're a CPA. Man, you guys are like the dream for the African-American community. But I'm like, man, you know what? We can do so much more. We can accomplish so much more and leave a larger legacy for my family. So I want to change the standard of my family, of our conversation just being about, man, go get a college degree, go make 6 figures. That's what my family would do. That's what we're gonna do. We'll get a college degree, we're gonna make 6 figures. Now it's about, hey, okay, go get a college degree, but also, hey, let's start a business. Hey, let's start setting legacy. Let's start making changes in our family. So now the next generation that's coming after, now they can believe that they can do so much more bigger at an earlier age than where I am. And so, that's where I'm at right now. I'm chasing legacy for my family. I'm chasing legacy for my community. I know we're going to get into it a little bit, but more in the African-American community as well, just to be a larger example for our community to say, hey, man, we could do so much more as a community. And if we really see like what we're made of, what like our capacity is, like we can have that. What I was hearing on a call for somebody was saying, they was talking about economic power. We got a lot of things are social justice and a lot of things are going on right now, but a lot of times our voice is not being heard because we don't have that economic power. And you can look at LeBron James. He has it. He's doing the voter right things. He's doing this. He's doing that. He has that economic power. He has that economic influence. Imagine if more of us have that economic power and that economic influence, how much more then that we can really start seeing true changes in our community and how America look at the African-American community and African Americans in America. So that's like where my mind frame is at right now, where it's rolling right now, just for being part of this company.
Yeah, I like everything you said. You were saying something in the beginning and it triggered a thought for me when you were talking about you question your ability to take the CPA because you're listening to people around you and you're ingesting that negative energy and just questioning your ability. But then when you started to notice other people around you, this person has their CPA, that person has your CPA. So Terry, can you touch on the importance of insulating yourself and your circle with people that are positive, motivating, and encourage you to pursue something or to hit that next wicket or hit that challenge, versus you'll have a lot of people around you, oh man, this is so hard, and I don't know, and it'll create a self-doubt where it kind of puts a ding in your self-esteem or your safe capabilities, and how we really need to surround ourselves with people or just in an environment that's nurturing to, well, no, you haven't done it before, but you know what? I know you're a very smart person. I know you're a go-getter. So why can't you go get your CPA?
Yeah, it's hugely important in being in an environment that could push you, that challenges you, that challenge your thinking, that challenge just your capability and your capacity as well. My parents always had pushed me and encouraged me. And when I was going through like thinking about making a CPA, my parents wasn't talking to me about Terry, when you gonna get your CPA? When you gonna get your CPA? They wasn't like having that conversation with me about it. But my mom has always encouraged me. Even when I started taking my CPA exam, my mom actually went to try to take her CPA exam 2 times and failed. Now, my mom is like the smartest person ever in the world. She thinks that we're smarter than her. My mom is the smartest person. My mom is a beast when it comes to like business and things like that. My mom is a hands down beast. But she had like encouraged me just with saying that, hey, Terry, you're smart. You're smarter than me. I'm like, whatever, mom. You're just saying that because I'm your son. But that encouragement is very big to just have that encouragement from your surrounding, from the people that you're connected to. Because if you have nobody in your circle that is pushing you to do better, like you won't do better. Even if you're at the top level of your circle and that's it, but you don't have nobody above you, like you're not growing. You're just gonna stay there, and you're just gonna be complacent. That's why I love my company that I'm part of, PHP, because they're always pushing us to think more. Back to just the guy I was telling you had the Rolex. This guy, his wife, they just already through this year, they made like $1.4 million through this year in the company, in financial services, through this year, which nobody talks about financial services. Like financial services, you can make a ton of money in financial services, like ton. I mean, it's very comparable to real estate, or even better. That's just my honest opinion about it. But what he was saying that, what, now I'm in this different realm of, millionaires. He was saying like, man, you know what? Me and my wife, we consider ourselves in that group the brokest millionaires. Like, you would never hear that together, broke and millionaire. But he was saying like, okay, now I'm in a new arena. Now I'm in a new area. Now I'm back again. I'm at the low totem poles of people that are millionaires. So now I'm of millionaires of my association, of my millionaire friends, I'm the brokest. So now I gotta build it back up. So when you're in that type of association, it doesn't allow you to buy into small thinking of people of saying, well, I make this and I'm cool and I'm just going to do that. That's cool if that's what they want to do, but they also have to be okay with knowing that, man, I'm leaving a lot of potential on the table. And so the narrative, and when you mentioned that, is being careful about protecting your narrative and who's in your ear, and not buying into small thinking individuals as well, so they won't talk you out of your dreams and out of your goals or things that you want to do.
And going into that, well, first of all, I want to take a break. First of all, I want to say thank you for those that are just tuning in. I'm Camille Essick. I am the host of the Speaker Podcast. Here I have my brother and friend, Terry Stanton, and we are discussing his journey, into entrepreneurship with the PHP agency. And right now we are discussing the negativity within your environment. So if you're just tuning in, be sure to drop a comment below. You can share and like this as well. Terry, you're saying some awesome things and dropping a lot of nuggets. So in that, the awakening, when you had that awakening and say, okay, I want more, and you felt that tug that you needed more out of your life and discovering purpose, first question is, what do you feel like are steps people can take in discovering their purpose? And two, once they've discovered their purpose or that individual has awakened, what would be the next step following that? And even your personal journey, share, please.
Oh man, that's a huge question. Like just the steps of somebody into sort of like just having that awakening. One, you just have to be. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. You literally have to just be tired of where you at in life. I think that's the first thing. Like you have to be tired of the results that you're getting out of life. Like you got to ask yourself personally, okay, is the results that I'm getting out of life is the results that I want? And then, okay, if that answer is no, then what are you going to do differently than what you're doing now that's not getting you your results? So then you have to be willing to get uncomfortable, to step out on faith, to find something to put you in an atmosphere that gets you there. Like start a business or find a I'm a fan of network marketing. I'm a fan of network marketing. Find a good network marketing company that helps you and put you in an environment where you can grow, put your environment where you can be uncomfortable. Like right now, I just hit a broker position in a company, official broker position. So now, you know, I'm accountable to somebody else and working with being accountable. And we do our accountability calls and things like that. And I'm seeing like some of the top people put their numbers up. Man, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And I was like, I don't want to say my numbers, but it makes you uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. So it makes me say, it's like, you know what? Listen, nope, my number's not going to be like this next week. My numbers are going to be better. I'm going to improve. My number's going to be better than all you guys. So you gotta put yourself in an uncomfortable position, and whatever that is, you got to figure out what that is, and then just go after it, and then also put yourself in a position to grow. That's a huge thing. Like we stop growing. Like our society screws us so bad. I hate to say it that way. Our society screws us so bad because we're taught, you know, go to school, get grades, get a good job, and then that's it. And we stop. And that was me. And like I said, I just realized this about 2 months ago. Some of the stuff I'm just realizing is just sometimes most of us reach our goals at an early age. I mean, I'm gonna go get my college degree. I'm gonna make my 6 figures. I'm gonna make, you know, $100,000, and then we just coast. And we do that by the time we're 30, 35 for some people. And you do that at 35? You didn't reach your goal at 35 years old, and you have 40 more years of productive life yet left. When you say you probably set your goals too high, could you imagine what you would do if you really applied yourself for another 40 years? If you hit those goals that quick, can you imagine if you would really apply yourself? So you just got to put yourself in a position to constantly continue to grow. I just posted something on Facebook from this book that I'm reading called 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth or something like that. I can't even find the book. But one thing he was talking about is that he said people want to improve their life. People want to improve their lot in life, where they're at in life. Wherever they want to improve their life, but they're unwilling to change or unwilling to improve themselves so they can change. So you just got to be willing to get uncomfortable. And the people that are willing to get uncomfortable, those are people that's going to win.
Yeah. So what do you say to the person, Terry, that they question themselves or they're afraid to step out, and then that self-doubt? What do you say to the person that may be watching as far as doubting their capability? Like, can I really do this? What if I fail? What if I don't make that sale? And maybe not even from a monetary standpoint, but just as a personal inventory from within, just looking at themselves and questioning their capability. Like, what do you say to someone that may be tuning in tonight watching?
Change your narrative. It's as simple as that. Change your narrative. And I'll add this quote that I heard. I can't even remember the lady that said it, but it was It was so freaking powerful. It was so phenomenal when I heard it.
I think Terry froze. And then,
You
things.
already like,
Hello, you there? I
so
think you froze, Terry.
why not just say yes and do it? The yes is the better answer because you're going to be stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay, I was saying people already know what no looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're saying no to a new opportunity, they already know what it looks like. They're going to get the current results that they want. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, and you know what too? I think culturally we're so accustomed to hearing no from society as people of color. We are conditioned to that to say, well, oh, they told me no, so that's it. And superseding, we need to learn how to supersede the no.
Yes, and that also comes from when I mentioned about like changing the narrative. Like I used to not believe in affirmations. I used to think like, oh man, that hocus pocus stuff, that mess don't work. Oh man, I'm great, I'm good, I'm attract money to me. All this stuff. But I'm
Let
like,
me ask you this: why did you feel like that? Because both of us grew up in church. Then you should have known that life and death was in the tongue. So what made you feel like it was like that? If the word of God says that power of life, is in the tongue, like, so if you say, I am strong,
yes, yes,
you're speaking
yes.
that over your life.
Ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance. That's really what it is. The church uses affirmations all the time. The church uses we're singing call and response songs. I know the Lord will make a way. Yes. Yeah. I know the Lord will make a way. Lord, we're gonna do this. Lord, those are just affirmations. And so what you tell yourself over and over and over and over again, eventually you're going to act it out. And so if you're constantly telling yourself negative things, like we're conditioned throughout our entire life. So now as we get older, we have to like unlearn things, recondition ourselves, recondition our minds. So that's why we think the way we think. I had to deal with that. I was the guy who, you probably wouldn't even believe it, but I was the guy growing up. I didn't really holler at girls like that. I was afraid they was gonna tell me no. I didn't try out for basketball. I didn't try out for baseball in high school or anything like that. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make the team. I'm gonna get cut. I lived in a life of fear for a lot of years, and it was just what I was telling myself. Like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I can do this. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna do this. I don't. And so now, guess what? I'm conditioning my mind in that way. And so what we constantly tell ourselves, regardless of what it is, like what I've come to learn is even about like our subconscious mind. So like our subconscious mind receives commandments from what we say to ourselves on a daily basis. It doesn't depict between what's true or not true. It cannot depict. So whatever you tell it, it's going to deem as true. So if I'm telling myself I can't do this, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, our subconscious mind is going to act on that, and we're going to bring that to fruition. It's going to come out of us.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, self-sabotage. Yeah. But if we tell ourselves, hey, I can do this, I can, I can build this, or blah, 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 whatever you want to tell yourself, if you constantly tell yourself like positive things, then it's going to act it out, Or my CEO says a statement. He said, if you're going to lie to yourself good things, because eventually, guess what? You're going to start believing those lies and then start acting out and playing your life. So I would say the biggest thing is to start changing your narrative. Start changing your narrative from what if it doesn't work to maybe, hey, what if this does work? What if I do make it? So it's just changing your narrative.
I love it. Tara, can you touch on being equipped with tools to impact our community? Like, what are tools that we can equip ourselves with to impact our community? And that's once we acquire those tools, how do we utilize those tools to impact our community?
I think the biggest tool that we already have, and we don't use it. It's our mind. It's our mind. That's the most powerful tool that we can ever have and ever use. And we don't use it. Like we have this. We update this every year. Most people get a new cell phone every single year. Oh man, I got right. Most people get a new cell phone. Oh man, a new iPhone is coming out. Man, I got to get the new iPhone. The new Samsung is coming out. Man, I got to get the new Samsung. Oh man, PlayStation coming out. PS5. Man, I got to get the new PlayStation. My old PlayStation is it still works, but man, I need to get the newer PlayStation. Why don't we look at that as in our lives? Everything in our lives updates, but we never update this. And so we continue to try to do new things, but we're operating like on an old system. Like you remember back in the day when we had the internet and it took forever, like, you know what I'm saying? That's how we're operating because we haven't updated this. When we I think I'm gonna probably get in trouble with this. When we update this and stop being concerned about, growing up in church, we didn't listen to like secular music, right? Secular music, rap and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a fan of the art. I am a fan of the art. But at the same time, if we're so concerned listening to the music that is pumped to us, why do you think we act the way we act? Why do you think we think the way we think? And I'm not knocking, hey, it's capitalism, you can do whatever, but the top song right now is WAP. The top song is today. You know what I'm saying? The top song is WAP. Lord. So guess what you think all these females gonna be thinking about and trying to do? WAP, WAP, doing the dance, WAP, WAP. You know what I'm saying? But we're not updating this. And so if we could just get past that and start really like updating our minds, like that would be the greatest tool that we can use, because then we can start making like more decisions. And I know some people not gonna even like me on this, even with what's going on with us getting killed and getting killed by the police officers and the over abuse of police and things of that nature. We get too emotional sometimes in that. Some people don't like Candace Owens. Some people can't stand Candace Owens. I like Candace Owens because here's why I like her. She says things that sometimes that we don't want to agree with, or sometimes that is true. And she mentioned that sometimes that different political parties can say, oh, racism or this or something like that as far as racism, and then we lose our minds, and that's true sometimes. And so like if we can sort of build our emotional intelligence and control our emotions, because like when emotions is high, intelligence is low. So you're not making the right decisions. And so like if we can control our emotions and lift our emotional intelligence a little bit higher, I think that would help us move forward a lot better as a community.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really do like that. So jumping right along, when you said emotions are high and intelligence is low, so what can people do as far as living in this time? Because right now it is a very emotional time. We're seeing people losing jobs. We also see people starting out creating new businesses. We see people that look like us getting killed unjustly by the police. But then we see so many other wins, like the March on Washington from last weekend. So we have these very polar situations going on right now in society. So how can someone that is in a space of looking to build legacy, particularly with the PHP agency, what are some things your agency has to offer that will allow them to equip themselves to build a legacy for themselves and their family, and also to impact the community?
Our agency probably have one of the best leaderships in the world. And maybe I'm biased and maybe I'm not, but we have one of the best leaderships in the world. Our CEO has the top YouTube channel for entrepreneurs called Valuetainment. He has over 2.2 million subscribers. He just released a book called The Next 5 Moves, which is phenomenal. It's called The Next 5 Moves. It's now a Wall Street #1 bestseller. So our company, when we talk about entrepreneurship, our leadership shows it. You know, and everybody seeks this guy out all over the world, and he has trained some of our top leaders. So now, as coming on board with PHP, you have access to people that have been trained by him, things like him, and are sharing that information with us. The biggest thing is association. When I got in this business, this is what I learned, and this is what he said, this is what everybody else said, and I wholeheartedly believe it. Three things that helps people really elevate their lives. And it's very simple. The books you read, the meetings you attend, and the people who you associate yourself with. And so we have a monthly book club. The one that we have right now that's for the month is called Atomic Habits. So talk about people would improve their habits. The meetings that we attend, we just held a virtual conference. No other company in our industry did it. We just held our first virtual conference, and we got to hear from people from Pitbull. Like, a lot of people don't know Pitbull is very entrepreneurial minded. Like, this guy dropped a lot of nuggets, a lot of gems for us. So now we're getting to hear different mindsets of people. You know, I got a chance to hear, they did an interview with General Jim Mathis, was one of the top generals in the United States. So yeah, that's, you know who he is. You're a veteran. One of the top generals in the United States. Man, one of the biggest things he said was, he was just talking about empathy. He was talking about listening to people, you know, empathizing with them, not sympathizing, empathizing with them. And then he also talked about, okay, just figure out, put yourself in their place, like where they're coming from, and then respond. Like, a lot of people, we don't listen. I mean, that's just simple things that you're learning from these type of individuals that our company offers. And then just on top of that, then just in my opinion, and I can have proof to back it up. I just believe, hands down, right now, if you're looking to get in business, get involved in the financial service industry. Hands down, financial service industry, best industry to be in right now. And even go ahead.
Sorry, what are some of the financial services that you offer through PHP?
Cool, that's a great question. So one of the things we do is life insurance. And right now is Life Insurance Awareness Month. The month of September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So I have conversations with people and with families about protecting their families and protecting their loved ones, that if something happens to you, how do you want your family to be taken care of? Do you want something to put in place that if something happens to you, your kid can still go to school? Because we see—
it's not life insurance.
GoFundMe, I've seen since COVID, I've seen so many GoFundMes that and the stories are sad. The stories are sad. Oh, I lost my husband. We need to GoFundMe to take care of medical bills. We need GoFundMe to bury my husband, and then we need some extra money so we can live.
Can you please tell people how inexpensive life insurance is? Even for the most basic policy, just to get in the ground. Like, if you pay that monthly payment, can you please break that down, particularly with our community? As you said, so many people are out here doing the GoFundMe, and it's like, you know, you can go to drive-through and spend $20 here, and then go buy a bag and a $100 bill and buy bundles of hair and shoes and all this other crap, but your Amazon Prime is coming to your house every week. And it's like, that money you've blown because you're at home bored with COVID or quarantine, literally, how much of that could you spend on a life insurance policy?
Depending on your age, I could get your life insurance policy for $20-$30 a month. I'm 37. Guys, I gotta think about that. You know, you're getting old, like when you gotta think about like your age. You can't say it off the top of your head. Like, I'm 37. I'll be 38 in December. I personally just took out another policy. But I don't even have kids.
I have two.
So I personally just took out a $750,000 policy. It's going to cost me $60 a month. Who can't afford $60 a month? For $750,000 to put in place to leave a legacy for your family. Like my family is even not for me. I don't have kids. My nieces, my nephews, my godchildren, that's who it's going to. They're going to be straight. They're going to be taking, if something happens to me right now, my brothers, my sister-in-laws will be able to send all my nieces and nephews to school, and they would still have some left over if they want to, and I don't mind if they do it, to pay off their student loan debt.
It's the fastest way to pass on wealth to your family. I have a policy through my job, but Lord forbid, thank God for my job, but if they tell me deuces, I have another policy through the VA just as a backup. And I can increase that amount at any time. So, I mean, with the life insurance policy, that's the fastest way on paper to technically be a millionaire. It's through life insurance.
It is the fastest way, is the cheapest way to pass down generational wealth. Because if you don't, that's what you're passing down generational bills.
That,
and it's not going, nothing in your family is going to change. Mm-hmm. Nothing at all. It's super important. Insurance is here's how big insurance is. During COVID, I don't think they did Wimbledon because it shut everything down. So Wimbledon had some type of insurance policy, and something that if something like this happens, that they get paid out. They got paid out $14 million because they didn't have Wimbledon. You know what I'm saying? And then also on the other end, I'll add this. A lot of people, I talk to a lot of people, and like, man, I have insurance through my job and things like that. And I think that's a cop out. You being cheap with your family. It's your insurance, your job is maybe 1-2 times your income. So at most, you may have like $100,000 for most people. And here's what I'll tell most people.
More. And then I have an additional 100,000 through the VA, which I can make that another 400,000 if I choose.
Yeah. So like
$5 million in insurance.
Yeah, good. Go get some more.
The kids, or I'm not married, but that's $500,000 like right now. That something happens to me outside my funeral, my nieces are good.
Yeah, but see, people don't think about that, and that's a shame. So like me and you, we don't have no kids, but if we're thinking even about our nieces and nephews. How much more should somebody that has kids think about their children? I've seen it over and over again where people only had it through their job and it either didn't pay out or it wasn't enough, and they still lost their homes, they lost cars, they had to move in with loved ones. Do you want to do that to your family? That's really what it is.
And then your family can't even grieve properly because they're so stressed out about the finances. They're not even in a space to grieve you actually even not even being here anymore, because now they're bickering, fighting over bills, money, whatever. And I also have a will. So in addition to the life insurance, I have a will. That way there's no arguing. This is what I want. The court and the attorney will uphold it. Done deal. Mm-hmm. Because, when I'm gone, I don't want to be gone. But if I am gone, I want my affairs to be in order where my family, their main focus is just getting over the loss of me no longer being here, not me not being here, and whatever else that comes after that.
No, you're right. And I'll also add this piece, because a lot of people, they think they know about, I thought I knew about life insurance. I knew a little bit, like, I need it because I'm gonna die one day. That's just my limited mindset that I had about life insurance. The way life insurance has changed right now is that if you get sick, like you have a stroke, you have cancer, you have a heart attack, like you can use your policy. They'll let you access your death benefit. I had a friend last year, had a stroke, cut his family a check for almost $100,000. He was married with 4 kids. You don't think that helped him? He couldn't work. So like a lot of people like, I have life insurance. Well, okay, do you have the most up-to-date life insurance? Do you have the newer life insurance? Do you have the life insurance you can use while you're still alive? Because it's sad, but more than likely, majority of people are either going to have a heart attack, have cancer, have stroke, have some type of serious ailment in their lives at one point or another in their lives. And we're seeing a lot of people our age having that. So it's really important. It protects your money, it protects your assets, it protects your family.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't have to liquidate your money.
Yeah, it's so true. Terry, you have so much to offer. I definitely want to bring you back. I got to bring you back. Because yeah, the energy is great. You're giving a lot of information. And
I told you I bring energy. See, didn't I tell you that? I told you I bring energy. I did. I told you.
Before the podcast, like viciously that,
I can't bring up what we talked before the podcast into the podcast.
I'm gonna put that in the disclaimer in the next email, okay? But definitely, first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of the Speaker Podcast. Terry, where can people connect with you if they want to learn more about life insurance and the financial services offered by the PHP agency?
I'm on majority of social media platforms, but I mostly use Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those are the ones I normally use. You can search my name, Terry Stanton, on Facebook or on LinkedIn. And then on Instagram, I probably just need to change my name on there to something a little bit more marketable or something like that, a little bit more fancy. But it's just simple, Stanton Terry 1221. It's just simple. I'm just a simple guy. So.
All right. So everyone, thank you again for tuning in to this episode of the Speaker Podcast. I'm your host, Camille Essick. Be sure to connect with me online at www.kamikameek.com, on Facebook at Speaker Podcast, also on Instagram at Kamikameek, or you can reach me via email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, thanks for watching and be blessed. Bye.
Bye, everybody.